In this video, I will teach you how to goal set and achieve your dreams, which I learnt from reading Girl Stop Apologizing by Rachel Hollis. Keep watching to find out more. Hi, I'm Linda and welcome to my YouTube channel, Better You Books, where I read and review books that help you to become a better version of yourself. Today's video is a little bit different to my usual book reviews because I'm going to be telling you how to goal set the Rachel Hollis way, which I learnt about in her book, Girl Stop Apologizing. I love this book and I got so many takeaways from it. If you'd like to find out more about the book, I've done a full video review and I've linked to it above and also in the description below. For those of you who don't know who Rachel Hollis is, she's an American entrepreneur and she's written several books, and her most famous books are Girl Stop Apologizing and Girl Wash Your Face. She's also a renowned public speaker and she hosts her own personal development conferences. And personally, I find her really motivating and inspiring. Rachel sets what she calls big, audacious goals for herself, and she has achieved so many of her dreams. So I was intrigued to find out how she did it. In this video, I will talk you through her 4-step process to goal setting, and I will tell you my thoughts on it as well as where you can find more information. I wanted to share this with you because it was my biggest takeaway from reading Girl Stop Apologizing, and I felt like it needed its own dedicated video to do it justice. Rachel calls her goal setting technique 10-10-1. She's been doing it for many years and she credits it with her success. Dreams that she has achieved using this approach include becoming a New York Times bestselling author and her events selling out arenas. 10-10-1 stands for 10 years, 10 dreams, and 1 goal. To me, it feels like a mixture of visualization, manifestation, affirmations, all combined with goal setting. Rachel says that everyone has dreams for their life, but there is a big difference between a dream and a goal. In the book, she writes, "A goal is a dream with its work boots on. A goal is a dream you've decided to make real. A goal is a destination you're working toward instead of an idea you're only considering or hoping for." To do this, you're going to need a notepad and a pen, and if you're anything like me, a nice mug of tea as well. You're going to be writing in this notepad daily, so if it's cute, this is mine, then that's even better. It's really important that you write this down in a notepad as opposed to, say, writing it in the notes app on your phone, because you remember things that you write down a lot more than things that you type, because handwriting activates more areas of the brain. I'm now going to talk you through the 4-step process. Step 1. Picture the best version of yourself in 10 years' time. Rachel says that this is so important because if you don't know where you're going, then how are you going to get there? You need to have a destination in mind and then work backwards from there. So many of us are overwhelmed and so busy with our day-to-day lives that we rarely take a step back and work out what we actually want to do with our lives and where we see our future. So step 1 is to imagine the best version of yourself. You may want to shut your eyes to do this and really focus. Imagine yourself in 10 years and that you are living your best life. Dream big. Don't put restrictions on it. Picture the you of 10 years' time like you're starring in your own movie. What do you look like? What are you wearing? What are you doing? How do you feel? Where do you live? What job do you do? Do you have your own business? Are you married? Do you have kids? Get as specific as you can. Do you enjoy cooking? What food do you eat? Where do you go on holiday? Do you like to do yoga? Are you a runner? Now write down everything you thought of as quickly as you can before you forget any of it. Don't censor yourself at this point. It's fine to dream big. Just write it all down. If you want to do this right now, then hit pause, and then press play again when you're ready to continue. Step 2, turn your 10 years into 10 dreams. Next, you need to turn your 10 years into 10 dreams. That if those 10 dreams were able to come true, that your vision would become a reality. Don't worry if you have more than 10. Just keep writing your list and prioritizing until you get to 10 dreams. Your dreams should be personal to you. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about them. It's your life, and these need to be things that will really fire you up. Your dreams should also be measurable because you need to know if you're making progress on them. So, for example, instead of saying, I want to save money, you need to say, I want to save £1,000, for example. However, Rachel doesn't believe in setting time deadlines on your goals. In the book, she writes, I struggle with that idea because none of the success I've experienced in my personal life has been quick. If I had given myself a timeline of a year or even 2, I would have given up a long time ago. She does believe that your goals should be actionable, though, because she says otherwise, if it's not actionable, then it's just like a dream that you're thinking about. But when you associate a plan of action to it, then it becomes a goal. One tip is to not make your dreams too unrealistic, or you might find that they demotivate you. For example, you don't want to write, I want to run a marathon, if you've never even ran before, because you don't even know if you're going to like it. You should instead perhaps write, I'm going to run a 5K. And then if you enjoy that 5K, then you can upgrade that dream later on. Step 3, write your dreams down daily. Now, write down your 10 dreams daily. And really importantly, write them as if they've already happened. So the reason you write down your goals daily is to every day set your intention and write down who you want to be and what you want to achieve and where you want to go. It's really important because the repetition will help cement it in your brain. And the reason you write it as if it's already happened is because there is some science to do with your unconscious and your brain accepting what you tell it as reality. So if you say, I've already done this, then your brain will accept that and help you to find ways to achieve that goal. So don't say, I'm going to write a book or I want to write a book. Instead write, I am an author or I have written a book. If you're in the USA, Rachel has a product called Start Today Journals that you can buy, which will allow you to do this practice in them every day. And it also has a section for what you are grateful for. I started writing down 5 things I'm grateful for every day since reading this book back in January. So I've been doing it now for 7 months and it has completely changed my mindset. However, you don't have to have a special journal to do this in. You can just use an ordinary notepad. So in your notepad, every day write down 10 dreams I made happen and then write down your 10 dreams. Don't worry if your 10 dreams aren't perfect on your first attempt. It took me a while to get to wording that I was happy with. Just keep writing them down daily and tweak and iterate them until you're happy with the wording. Step 4, choose one goal to achieve first. So the next thing you have to do is choose just one thing from your 10 dreams to focus on first. Rachel believes that you should go all in on one goal, and once you achieve that goal, then you move on to the next goal. The reason is because she believes that when you split your focus, you split your attention and you split your energy. She writes, I found success when I learned to focus. And focus requires choosing one thing. It's hard for first-timers to commit to only one area when they're passionate about growth. What they don't realise is that a goal is like a harbour. When the tide rises in the harbour, all the boats rise. This amazing thing happens when you start to grow in one area of your life. Other things improve with it. So every day after the 10 dreams that you have written down, write down the goal I am going to achieve first and write down that one goal. One cool thing that Rachel does that you might want to copy is she puts a bottle of bubbles in the fridge with a tag on it of the goal that she is working on. The first time she did this, she wrote down, New York Times best-selling author. This was before she'd even written a book. That bottle of champagne traveled with them, I think, through 2 house moves and stayed in the fridge for about 10 years until she wrote Girl, Wash Your Face, and it became a New York Times bestseller. So she was able to pop open that bottle of bubbles and enjoy it. So what are my thoughts on this process? I first came up with my list of 10 dreams when I read the book last year, and I found it really useful to take that step back and work out, what do I actually want for my life? And then to see them written down in a list of 10 was really helpful for me. However, I have not been consistent at writing them down every day, but I have started doing this again, and I have done it now for the last 3 weeks every night. One issue I think with the way I do it is I often do it at night when I'm doing my gratitude practice. I like doing gratitude at night because it's easier for me to see what I've been grateful for that day rather than do it the next morning and have to rethink back on that day. However, I'm often really tired and I'm trying to get to bed quickly. So I write these down, but so quick so that I can go to sleep. And whilst I'm sure there is some benefit to doing it that way, because I still get to see my list and have that repetition of writing it down, I don't think it's the best way. So what I want to start doing is dedicating 10 minutes a day to it. So instead of just writing down my list, also really visualizing them, imagining what it would feel like if I achieved those dreams, because I think that will have a much bigger manifestation impact. But also, I think it's really important to then think, why do I want these things? Because if you don't know your why, then you're really likely to give up. Rachel does hers every morning as part of her morning routine, and that might be a better way of doing it for me as well, so I will have a think about that. Another thing I really want to do that I think would be very helpful to this is to use my 10 dreams and make them into a vision board. Because then it's just another way of reminding yourself of what you want to achieve. You need to put it somewhere where you can see it regularly. But I think that combination of seeing the words every day, but also seeing the images, will be really powerful. And I also think it's a really good way of going about a vision board, because I think sometimes people can just maybe cut out loads of random pictures from a magazine and it's not very focused. So I think doing this exercise and finding out the 10 dreams you really want and then turning them into a visual representation will be really helpful. The thing I struggle with most with this 10-10-1 approach is the one thing. And I completely get it. I'm completely behind what Rachel says about why it's so important to focus in on one thing at a time. And I've actually said that myself in the past many times, that even though I think I'm good at multitasking, the only time I really, really do well in something and succeed is when I am laser focused. The reason I find it so difficult is because there's so many things I want to achieve and I am really impatient. So if you struggle as well with coming up what your one thing should be to focus on first, then I think it's just a good idea to kind of really sit with yourself and just really think, in this season, which of these things are really the most important to me? And then focus all in on that one. And hopefully you will achieve it soon. You can cross it off and move on to your next one. What do you think? Does this sound like something you might be interested in trying for yourself? If so, I would love to know. Please drop me a comment below to tell me. If you want more information on this, Rachel has done a really comprehensive YouTube video where she talks all about goal setting, and she also moves it on one step further and talks about how you can break down that goal into actionable chunks. I've included a link in the description below. For those of you who prefer listening to podcasts, she's also done a podcast episode where she goes into more depth on this too. Next week, I am going to be reviewing Untamed by Glennon Doyle. Since this book came out in March this year, I have seen rave reviews about it everywhere. So watch next time to see if I agree. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please click subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you are the first to know about my future videos. I hope you have a wonderful week, and achieve all of your dreams. See you next time.